Welcome to the competition that will be over almost before it starts. Welcome to the 92nd. This is the final event in IBECC, and I know for a lot of people it's probably quite a relief to have the whole thing out of the way. We certainly hope it's been a valuable experience for you. And I'm not going to do too much introductory information here. I think you all realize that in this particular case, you are an employee of the organization and you have 90 seconds to talk about this thing in front of some important people that are there. So this is a very much to the point, elevator type speech, if you will. Although we don't exactly call it that, that's the idea, getting your point across quickly. And what will happen is just like in the 10-minute is that I will start a timer here for 90 seconds. If the timer does go off, I'm going to need you to finish up within just a couple seconds. We really want to keep everybody in line with that particular time constraint. Again, my name is Jim Arnold. For those of you I haven't met, I'm from the University of St. Thomas in Minneapolis. This is my 6th year on the board of IBECC and my 6th year judging. It's always wonderful to see such incredible professionals here. So again, thank you for coming. Any questions before we get going? Are we all set? First up, we happen to have Oliver representing UMass.
Let's do it.
And between each, I'm going to spend more than 90 seconds taking notes, writing down some things, so hopefully you'll indulge me in that. And
Cool.
Oliver.
So Jim, I can introduce my case, right?
Go right ahead, sure.
All right, perfect. So IBECC is a social media app that allows for anonymous conversation within particular geographic areas. So
Okay.
yeah,
Excellent.
excellent.
And welcome and good luck.
Perfect. All right. So it is our value proposition and core competency in our business model in itself to provide an anonymous forum for speech. This puts us in the middle of a paradoxical ethical dilemma between the freedom of speech protected under the First Amendment and the right to the freedom of discriminatory speech on the basis of sex under Title IX of the Education Amendments Act of 1972. We have a duty to law and to society to protect free speech, to advocate for the protection of privacy, to advocate for the protection of anti-bullying statutes, and to create good conversation. We have a duty to our customer base and our particular core constituency, which is college students, to provide a forum for democratic speech that is not only free speech, that creates good conversation, again, and that is one that is free of threatening or discriminatory speech on the basis of sex. This creates an environment that is beneficial for our investors in the long term because that is our value proposition. This evokes a cost-benefit analysis. If we continue to stand on the sideline and only act when law enforcement prompts us to when a threatening situation occurs, we're not going to be successful. We need to strike that middle ground between the freedom of speech and the protection against threatening and discriminatory speech such that we can be super successful and become the best company we can in the long term for the highest return on investment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Next up, we're going to be listening to Berkeley, but I'm going to take a few minutes to write down a couple notes here. And if you are ready, Tyler.
Okay, so I'm an employee of Uber, and I'm speaking to my other employees during our business development meeting regarding autonomous vehicles.
Okay, thank you. Good luck.
So far, our initiative to integrate Tesla autonomous vehicles into our fleet has been centralized around the prospect of profit. If Uber is going to position itself as the leader in integrating autonomous vehicle technology, we are going to have to address the dignity and rights of the individuals who have contributed to our growth into a $62 billion global force for transportation mobility. It's true that the ride-sharing economy that Uber has helped create has created over 1 million jobs, providing stability and support and supplemental income for individuals. It's extremely important that moving forward, our business growth aspirations account for the dignity and rights of these individuals. Thank you.
Finally, we're going to have Charles, and I shall issue a couple notes here. A second? Sure.
Before I start, I'm at a board meeting of HSBC at the back.
Okay, very good. Welcome and good luck.
Our company, despite recurrent scandals, has failed to attend to the biases in our decision making. As such, our future is threatened. To survive, we must confront our ethical decision making. But why should we care about this? We should care because the only sustainable business strategy is an ethical one. The way I see it, the neglect of the biases has 3 ethical factors. First, it is our role as a financial institution to provide financial services to help people fulfill their aims. This rules out financing harmful ventures. Second, it is our obligation as a company the size of a large economy to ensure that ethics is a fundamental element of our processes and is applied consistently. And third, we must ensure that our unconsciously biased decisions do not result in harmful outcomes. If we fail to act now, we will ultimately fail as a business. This is because our global profitability will be eroded by our poor brand image clashing with modern consumer trends, and will face escalating compliance and legal costs. We must act now to determine our future before regulators determine it for us. If we do so, we can turn our business around so that a culture with strong ethical foundations underpins increased and sustained profitability. Thank you.
You're allowed to come home now.
I think I'm just going to sit. Stay seated. I can see you all. End of the day. Okay, I got just a little feedback for you. Number one, great job, all of you. And I hope you've gotten some good things from each other in a mere 90 seconds. Oliver, UMass, really like what you talked about starting out with vision. Excellent, because that's good to remind people the big picture of why it is we're around. And then you moved on quickly and said we have an ethical dilemma. When you follow off talking about vision and you go right to the issue, now you've got a great segue. You got a great segue. So your second piece was very nice. You got into duty and advocacy. Advocacy is a great word in ethics because oftentimes we have to find ourselves being advocates for what's right and what's wrong because we can't always back it up with money and figures. So there's a big advocacy piece. And then you finished off with a beautiful, beautiful statement about middle ground, because that is what ethics is about, is trying to find middle ground. Place where we can all join together and all agree on something. And Lord knows it can be very difficult with the gray areas of ethics, but the middle ground piece is extremely important. So thank you, that was really good.
Thank you.
Tyler, talking about Uber, certainly a very big topic right now. Love the fact that you called attention to the fact that there's 1 million jobs at stake. It's very important to be able to create some sort of urgency or importance one way or another. I would not have probably, as your colleague in the company, have thought about the concept of 1 million jobs. But you're right. And so that's a very important thing to think about. You talked about the dignity of human beings and the rights of human beings. That is never out of the picture when it comes to ethics. So, very good as well. Really enjoyed that. And then number 3, Charles. Let me see here. You started out with the concept of bias, which I think is really important as well to talk about. We all have our biases, and that establishes a human piece between two people, that we're all biased, and you're saying, okay, I understand, we're human beings here. And then you followed up with, but we must confront an ethical situation. You got your topic up front, and you answered the question, well, why should we do that? Great, and then you did what's a very golden thing in presenting. It's called the rule of three, and when you can find three things, there's something about three.
Trinity.
Yeah, the Trinity.
There we go.
The Trinity, is that what research says? Is that the read?
No, that's religion. That's just
Yeah.
philosophy.
Okay. But it has been shown for some strange reason that we love three as humans. And so when you've got three things to say, it's great to start out and say, I got three things to say. All of a sudden it lights up the brain. It's the oddest thing. And even if you have four things, five things, we are a society, or maybe as humans, we like to know that there are a discrete number of things you're going to talk about. Take a look at, for instance, David Letterman's top 10. We love top 10s in our society, and when you have a small number of things that you want to talk about, if you just start out with, I got three things to talk about, I got four things to talk about, I wouldn't do it if it's more than five. If I got 12 things to talk about, might be a little bit much. But the way our brains work, we like discrete little things laid out like that. So I really think that all of these were very good, as is true in the whole IBECC competition. I think we have the best slate of teams we've ever had in our 20 years. And as judges, we're sitting around scratching our heads saying that our job is more difficult this year than I think it's ever been. So I congratulate all of you for that. I also hope that you've had the opportunity to learn from each other, because we do consider this to be a learning event. It's not just a cutthroat competition. The idea here is to learn, and if you so choose to run and walk and tour and all these other things, if you chose to take part in that, that's an important part of what we believe in as well. Any questions at all that I can answer for you? For those of you who were with me this morning, I talked a lot more, but I think that's about all I have. So take that with you. Hopefully you'll have good memories of being with us at IBECC and all the good times we had, especially all the learning that you've had. Hopefully you've had some good camaraderie with some of the other folks here. A lot of wonderful people. If you haven't done your voting on the stories that we did 2 nights ago, your little three sticker thing, please remember to get your 3 stickers and vote, because there's a prize for those as well. And once again, we really appreciate your being at IBECC. We are hoping that you'll tell others in your school that we want you back, and next year we will be in the Los Angeles area. So give yourselves a wonderful round of applause. You're free. See you at the banquet. Thanks.